don't give it back, then that means you probably need to do a better job. Okay, you got people telling you, ladies, that these men, that they're better than you. Okay, Joan has come on here as an expert in Filipino meow meows and giving you all a lesson on how you can have the meow meows that they have. Think about it. Your men are spending thousands of dollars to fly overseas to get these Filipino meow meows. Okay? And so that means, man, they could save so much money if you had comparable meow meows here, because all that's happened, right, is that capitalism is taking root. They say, you know, we get a better quality meow meow over here. Why would we stay here in this country, even if we got to spend a little bit extra? You know, we get bonus meow meows over here. This is wonderful. On top of that, we get women to cook and clean, and you know, they don't think that cooking and cleaning is slavery, because here in the United States, they call it slavery. You know, it's slavery and you're oppressing womanhood and we want vengeance. You know, after a hard day working at the plant, guys don't want to deal with that. So my thing is, what more advice could you give these lovely ladies about keeping their pussycats clean? Here's my meow meow. I introduced him there. Hey, this is mine. We keep him clean. Look at him. Spotless, man. Shiny coat, right? Say hello. What's that? What's going on? I'm here for the smoke, baby. I'm here for the smoke. That's right. You look at that, right? Here for the smoke, right? You good, player? Say what's up. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody back at the kennel. I'm doing it big, baby. I made it big time, baby. Oh, Jesus. Oh, down. Get up out of here. Don't cuss it. Get on up out of here. Anyway. What else would you like to add, Joan, on behalf of the people of the Philippines? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Stay serious. Yeah, I'm trying to stay serious, but I just can't. But yeah, I'm loving this. Aside from washing your meow meow every time, don't get so many eggplants inside your meow meow. The Filipinos don't have high body counts. We don't have high body counts. We don't sleep on the first date. We don't do that. Here in the Philippines, because the Philippines is a very conservative country. Here in the Philippines, when you lose your virginity at the age of 18, you will be judged. You will be called the B word. So, yeah, I mean, and just imagine if there are so many bananas getting inside your meow. You're gonna get sick with that one, and just imagine after you do it with a guy and you don't wash it, that is nasty. And also here, we are very big when it comes to our hygiene. Yes, we live in a tropical country. It's always hot and humid here, like most of the year. That's why we take a bath 2 to 3 times minimum. That's minimum. Even if our temperature is kind of cold here, we still take a shower. Like Filipinos in general, we are just very big in our hygiene.
Okay. All right, so let's kind of break. I appreciate you explaining your videos and why it came about. National pride, I did it. You stood up for your people. Nobody, any real person would salute you, and I salute you on that for standing up for your people. Nobody likes a traitor, and nobody likes a weak one, especially when your people are under attack. So I salute you, okay? There are some good women here in the United States. Most of them are married. They get married real young. They get off the market. The people, I find that the women complaining are the ones that can't get the men that they want to get. That's the ones complaining. And the other thing is, remember, a lot of these American women like to mess around in their teens and 20s, and when they get 30, then they want to get married, and so they want to have some guy there that'll pick them up with their children and their used meow meow, and take them on in the house and take care of them and make them Cinderella. But what I want you to do for me is let's segue into what we're really here for. There's a lot of great guys here in the United States. And let me run down some statistics for you. 51% of black men aren't married and don't have children. 64% of black men have reached the middle class in the United States. So out of the 25 or 22 million black men in the United States, 64% are in the middle class, which means they make $42,000 or better. In that class, you also have the rich, or you have the upper middle class and the rich. Here's the other thing. Black men or black Americans have more millionaires per capita than any other racial group. So think about this. You got a bunch of guys who aren't married, who have money, and they can't find suitable wives. So they're looking all across the world for good women. I don't want these 51% of black men not to have children. I don't want them to die and just go to the cemetery and nobody there to show up, no children, no legacy. I don't want that for them. I want them to find good wives. I'm gonna be honest with you. My preference is that black men date and marry women of African descent. That's my preference because I know the difficulty in dating interracially. I see it all the time. But in the circumstances where you cannot find a good woman of your ethnic group, man, go with who treats you well. Go with who loves you. Tell these men, please, because I want them to understand the culture. I think that it's important if you're going to date a woman from the Philippines or the Dominican Republic or Colombia or where else, East Africa, South Africa, hell, Russia, hell, England, even though they speak English, then you should understand the culture. Tell us more about the culture of the Philippines. Tell us more about how a man should approach a decent woman, because we got turn-up girls everywhere. There's street girls everywhere. How do you approach a decent woman who may work in an office, who may have a college degree, who may be a doctor or a lawyer, who may be an accountant or a secretary? How would they go about approaching these type of women? What would be appropriate for a foreigner, a black American man, or any? Tell us, and what are the do's and the don't do's? Go ahead.
Okay, so here in the Philippines, respect is really number one. Westernized people are more aggressive, and a lot of Filipinos don't appreciate that. We don't, especially those who are not who does not know, Western people personally. So one good tip: just be more sweet, timid, but be yourself. Because Filipinos, we hate fake people. Just speak your mind. Yeah, just be yourself. And also, if you want to date a Filipina, just make sure that you treat her family good. Because that is the number one for us Filipinos.
Go into that. Okay, so I have experience dating in the Dominican Republic and Colombia. I noticed that if you bring mom a little bottle of wine, you see what I'm saying? And you come in and you meet and you're respectful, or something that she might, maybe a little something for her table, nothing too expensive, nothing too crazy, but just as a sign of respect, you get welcomed a little bit more. I don't think these guys really understand how important family is to many of the countries that aren't westernized. And you mentioned something earlier about the United States, and I want to put it in context. In my opinion, living here, having been here generations, my family, I can trace my roots back to a breeding farm, which is where African Americans were bred. Literally, you have a bunch of babies and we sell them off to a breeding farm in North Carolina called the King Plantation. And so I understand this culture. This country is a business. Matter of fact, what we call a constitution, legally, that's another word for contract. This is a business. And it's not necessarily a place you can get all warm and fuzzy and curl up with. It's not necessarily family order. You come here, you make a lot of money, and hopefully you have a home to go back to. Hopefully you have a culture that you can rely on. But a lot of these guys don't understand that. Tell us more about how the role of the family is in Filipino culture, so that they can know, because a lot of these guys don't have those types. Many of them were raised by single mothers. There was a bunch of women around. There wasn't a lot of guys. Even the men kind of they couldn't be too overbearing. They couldn't tell the women what to do. They've never been served a plate of food. They've never had a woman really smile at them, or talk nice enough. I know you think it's impossible. Talk to some of these guys, right? So tell us how important family is.
It is very important. If you cannot be respectful to a Filipina girl's family, don't pursue her, because she can dump you just like that if you will not respect her family. Because again, family always comes first for us Filipinos. And you mentioned something about bringing something when you try to visit, the family. Here you can. It's Filipinos we get happy with small things. If you are, but I need to say this because we want to be fair, right? Tricks are everywhere.
Yeah.
Scammers are everywhere. Let's just be honest about that. So just one tip of advice: if you start talking to a Filipino or another race like Asians, and they start to ask money right away, no, that's a red flag already. And it has happened here. There is one Filipino on TikTok. She was talking with a white man, and they always put videos on TikTok. And there's this one video. She was asking for 20,000 pesos, and guess what? A lot of Filipinas called her out, because that's the problem with the sisterhood there and the sisterhood here. We call out our sisters if they are crossing the line. Why? Because that is a disgrace for the entire Filipina. You are setting a bad example for other good Filipinas. And mind you, there are a lot of good Filipinas here. We do have good Filipinas here. So if you really wanna win a Filipina's heart, just be yourself. Do not hide things, because also honesty is number one for us. We are very direct when it comes to relationships. Just for me, example, there are a lot of black men who try to talk to me, but they're